Your main character needs a job. Being unemployed is not going to cut it. The reason you're having a hard time emulating your favorite stories and your favorite storytellers is because your main character is lazy. That might have been a bit dramatic, but the point still stands. Giving your character a role to strive for built a strong and powerful narrative in your storytelling. And the reason behind this is probably going to surprise you. I'm Michael. I've read countless books, articles, I've watched countless videos of successful and non-successful stories that compile the best methods of storytelling so that you don't have to. Gon becomes a hunter, Naruto becomes a ninja, Ichigo becomes a soul reaper, Deku becomes a hero, Denji becomes a devil hunter, Itadori becomes a sorcerer, Kafka becomes a soldier, Avatar Aang becomes the Avatar. All of these are jobs, right? The point is not to have the character be employed. The fact of the matter is not about making money. The role of this job is to symbolically represent the theme of your story, the core theme. In Naruto, ninja represent connection. In One Piece, pirates represent freedom. In Avatar, the avatar represents balance. Did you notice what the role represents ties into the core theme of the story? That is not a coincidence. The theme of your story is the moral question that's being asked. What is freedom? What is connection? What is true value? What is peace? What is forgiveness? The core question, and it's woven through your story like a thread in your characters, your power system, your world building, and in the role of your protagonist. What is the core theme of your story? As a writer, you should not simply give the role. Conflict is a good thing for a story. The character should be physically or spiritually or emotionally unqualified for the role at first. And then, through trialsome conflict, they achieve what they wanted. I can think of no better example of this than Deku from My Hero Academia. Deku had no quirk, but he wanted to be a hero like All Might. It was only after he was willing to sacrifice himself as a hero, awakening the spirit of a hero, that he had the opportunity to become one, to take on that role. Think about Kafka from Kaiju No. 8. He told himself that he was satisfied with his current life of cleaning up excrements from kaiju, from these giant monsters. But in actuality, it took him having to save someone, to sacrifice himself in order to awaken who he truly was. He still wanted to be a soldier. Creating conflict around your main character's goal will allow you to create a distinction between your main character at the start and the end of your story, but also throughout your story, which is essential to show readers, audiences, that your character is growing and changing with the circumstances of their life. At the start of One Piece, Luffy wants freedom. He wants to go out with the pirates and he wants to explore. But the thing is, Luffy doesn't understand that freedom comes with consequences and that pirates are actually meant to protect people, at least in the way that Shanks takes on piracy. So Luffy had to learn this point by being kidnapped by the mountain bandits, by being saved by Shanks, in order to really grasp what it means to be a pirate. And he had to grasp these things and get older and stronger, physically and mentally, before the writer allowed him to become a pirate. This is not a coincidence. It's because a role creates conflicts in these stories, which moves the narrative of the story like a thread from start to finish. So in your story, you have to ask yourself, what role can I create for my main character to strive for that at the start they are unqualified for, that I can give them to drive the main theme of my story throughout? So how do you do it for your story? Take the main theme and messaging of your story and craft a role around that theme. So for example, what if there's a world where a kid wants to travel to the islands in the clouds? And in the story, there's a role of people who ride birds throughout the sky. Well, now we know that that kid can strive to become one of those bird pilots. And don't worry about making things totally unique and new. Everything under the sun has been done. But if you want to create something familiar that's a little bit different, just add two jobs together. So let's say that those bird pilots are also mailmen, so they deliver messages between nations. So now your protagonist has a role, a job to strive toward, which will help them meet the main plot of the story, which is traveling to those islands in the clouds. Now that you know your protagonist can no longer be unemployed, what will your protagonist be doing? Of all the jobs in fiction, let me know in the comments what your favorite role is. And let's be clear, there's many ways to write a story, but the patterns in successful hit stories are not to be ignored. We have to see these patterns and find a way to duplicate them for our own stories if we ever want to dream of being writers as successful as our favorite mangaka, producers, or storytellers. I created a free sheet on my Patreon for subscribers, which will help you figure out your story's theme and choose a role for your character in the way that I would. I go more in depth on there than I did in this video, and I know you guys will enjoy it. So check out my Patreon link below to join and meet other people who love storytelling too. And thank you so much to my patrons. I love you all very, very much. You guys are literally making my dreams come true. Here's a list of some of them. And thank you for supporting me, because it really means a lot. So, more than you know. But that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you're subbed, and peace out.